नमस्कार। आज आप लोग बात करेंगे। हमारे साथ बैठे हैं बिहार के पूर्व रणजी क्रिकेट खिलाड़ी विनीत सक्सेना और हम लोग काफ़ी दिन बाद मिल रहे हैं। हमारे अच्छे दोस्त भी हैं और इसमें मेरी किताब जो क्रिकेट पर आ रही है उसमें बिहार रणजी टीम का क्या माहौल था 90s में, उस पर हम लोग कुछ चर्चा करेंगे। हाँ, तो विनीत,
हम्म
आप किस समय बिहार की रणजी क्रिकेट टीम से जुड़े थे?
97 98 मेरा
1998।
डेब्यू 97 98 लेट 90s और हम 2001 या 2002 तक खेले थे। 14 मैच खेले हैं, द लॉन्गर फॉर्मेट। और उसके बाद लिस्ट ए मैचेस, वनडे 8 या 9 वनडे। पर उसके पहले भी बहुत अंडर 15, अंडर 17, अंडर 19 आई प्लेड अ लॉट विद अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल जो आगे जाके हु प्लेड रणजी ट्रॉफी विद मी।
ओके। नहीं, 2003-4 आई थिंक बिहार की टीम उसके बाद बंद ही हो गई बिकॉज बिहार झारखंड का डिवीजन हो गया। तो
तो
उस
जब बिहार झारखंड का डिवीजन हुआ, इट जस्ट 1 या 2 साल में नहीं हो गया। दैट हैज अ लॉट ऑफ हिस्ट्री गोइंग बैक टू अर्ली टू मिड 90s। और जो कल्चर था टीम में, वेदर एट द जूनियर लेवल और एट द सीनियर लेवल, दैट हैड अ बिग पार्ट टू प्ले इन व्हाट हैपेंड इन 2003 2004। और जबकि अभी तक भी देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ एनिमोसिटी। कोर्ट केस चल रहा है, यू मस्ट नो, कोर्ट केस चले जा रहा है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक
they
केस
have
केस चल
seized
जाता है।
the bank accounts actually अभी।
हाँ, देयर बैंक अकाउंट गॉट सीज्ड एंड तो वो सब to understand all that, you have to also understand who backs cricket. तो एक तो हो गया, ठीक है, cricket structure in India is very good. Structurally, cricket is very good. But if you see BCCI में, who are the administrators? Are they older players or are they businessmen? That's your answer, right? Abhi jaake Saurav Ganguly has become BCCI president. But who was that before that? So
Politicians
that
और
it's
businessmen।
politicians, right? How does someone like Dilip Vengsarkar not become president of the board? How? Right? जिसका who was captain of India, Lords में board पे नाम है, 3 बार Lords में खेले, तीनों बार century है, but he could never become president of the board because it's so political. Or that manifests itself at lower levels. So state boards में, even to the point where आप देखेंगे ना under 16, under 17, under 19 cricket में बहुत politics है. But all of that has changed across the country to a very large level. लेकिन बिहार झारखंड में नहीं हो पाया।
जैसे अगर हम बात करते हैं 96 97 की आप बात करें तो उसी टाइम आई थिंक सबा करीम वाज सिलेक्टेड in
Selected for India, yeah.
in Indian team. I don't know if he was selected because he started playing in the East Zone and or he was selected picked up directly from Bihar. Uh,
Sabah Karim's selection had a lot to do with Saurav Ganguly establishing himself in the Indian cricket team and becoming a captain.
yes.
It had a lot to do with it. Sabah Karim was a standout player throughout his Ranji Trophy career under 19. He was a standout player and he should have played for India much before, but then he could not. He just could not. That's for
Yeah,
the
I
same
think
reason.
90, 91, 92 there was a chance that he will be picked up और फिर उसके बाद
Hmm.
नहीं गया था।
Uske baad, Kiran More was there for the longest time. And then just for the same reason, Narendra Hirvani could never establish himself because Anil Kumble just, and that's competition in the team, right? That's just competition. But Sabah
But the
Karim,
team, how was Bihar performing in Ranji is in 90s if you see where we were reaching in the points table, where were we उस टाइम में अगर याद करते हैं तो
Bihar wasn't that good, right? Bihar had very brilliant players. I can give you names. They were
like
really good.
I remember when Tariqur Rahman was there where
Tariq Bhai was there. Tariq Bhai was there. Brilliant player. And on top of that, if you look at our spinners, our spinners were really good. Avinash Kumar. Avinash Kumar was very unlucky. He could not play for India. He was just brilliant. KVP Rao, 200 wickets on any trophy. It means something. And they were brilliant players. Rajiv Kumar, with whom I played throughout my under 15s and under 19. And today I think he's the coach of the manager of the team. At least last year he was when Ishan Kishan and all came up. Raja was playing, Raja was coaching, got his coaching certification in England. Some really, really brilliant players. What happened was there was a lot of जब बिहार और झारखंड went two different ways. Okay, so what became apparent कि Ranchi, Patna, and Jamshedpur, there were three power centers for cricket. Ranchi came up. Okay, after a while, Ranchi came up. But who was backing cricket in Bihar? It was Tata Steel. Tata Steel. Why would Ranji Trophy matches only come to Kinan Stadium in Jamshedpur? And whose stadium did that belong to? Because the power of cricket was under Tata Steel and the administration was backed by Tata Steel.
Even the cricketers, he actually sponsored most of the Delhi cricket players, like when in the time of your father, Ramesh Saxena, and they were all playing.
Tata Steel brought in a lot of players, yeah.
Yeah.
How did Hari Gidwani come to Jamshedpur and play for Bihar? I mean, Hari Gidwani
from Delhi, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then who got my father? My father was also given the job. So the Tata Steel backed the players. And hua kya ki in this power struggle, a lot of good players like Tarek, Raja, Avinash Kumar, KP Rao, brilliant players. Okay, much better than what I could ever be, or I was. They got caught up in this power struggle. And that caused animosity in the dressing room. And when that happens, your performance will go down. When four of the core was so good, the core of the team, but the outside pressure from there was a lot of noise around, right? जब आवाज बढ़ जाता है ना टीम के आगे पीछे, performance goes down, and that reflected on the ground. And that change when players like Dhoni, और उस समय पैसा भी उतना नहीं था, right? What has IPL done to the entire structure of Indian cricket? और जब Star Cricket struck that deal with BCCI, right? जब
roughly what money we are talking about each match, how much a Ranji player will get? Do you remember?
So I can tell you that at that time I used to get for 5,000 rupees, I believe, 5,000
per match.
Per match.
Yeah.
Today that amount is 20 times probably that.
Yeah. It's in lakhs.
So that matters. And तो हुआ क्या कि जब these players, when Dhoni came into the scene, and I remember distinctly when I got injured playing Baroda, okay, I was playing through an injury. It was foolish. Zahir Khan took 11 wickets against us. So I got injured, and I think Dhoni was in the team at that time, and he came and he never looked back.
2000, yeah.
My last match, I think, was Dhoni's first match. So hua kya? When he started coming, younger people started coming in, right? And he just never looked back, and he went. और वो रांची में था. And Dhoni is actually not from Bihar. He's from UP, Dehradun. I believe his father was in railways or something. And
Uttarakhand se Mekon, he served in the Mekon,
Ranchi area mein, हाँ. So, but then bit by bit, Ranchi started becoming a power center for cricket. Today, all Bihar cricket is in Ranchi, and Tata Steel started pulling back. Tata Steel said, I don't want to get into this mess. Because gone are those days where every company is going to support every kind of sport. The culture of sport has changed in India, right? So with that, with Dhoni coming in and becoming what he became, a great cricketer for India, winning the World Cup.
He was a bit lucky also, if you see that time of that.
When he came in, the time.
Wicket batsman chahiye tha. And he fitted
something like Adam Gilchrist. He represented that.
Man Mongia was anyway leaving.
Man Mongia was going down, yeah. So okay, with that, there was money started coming in. Star Cricket struck that deal with BCCI, and money started flowing to local associations. But even then, the grip of local businessmen and politicians was still there. So older sportsmen were still pulled out. And what former sportsmen could do was throw their weight with those politicians or with those businessmen, because once your sport is over, you still need to carry on being stuck with the sport because it's a source of income and whatnot, right? So that still started happening. But in Ranchi, as more money came in, better practice facilities were provided. Players were traveling more and more.
I think the CCL, they used to play the Coal Cricket Club in. There were some other clubs which were playing. Right. Bokaro se khelta tha, aur wo log bhi acha karte the. And at that time, I think even Lalu Yadav pushed his son into the Jharkhand team.
Jharkhand under 17 or something. So you can see the level of, and maybe he's a good player. You know, maybe he was a good player. I never saw him play. Probably he was. But why should a politician put his son in the team if he gets in by merit? And once the chief minister's son is there, that accountability is ki boss, if that kid does not make it to the team, I don't know if I'll have a job tomorrow, That is the culture in Bihar. I mean,
Yeah.
these things. Yeah. So, but that started changing bit by bit. But even till today, politicians and businessmen run the administration side of cricket.
बट
And
वाज द कोचिंग अगर देखेंगे तो आप लोगों की प्रैक्टिस कितनी होती थी बिहार इट जस्ट
oh,
यूज्ड
we used to
टू गो
practice. हम लोग practice बहुत करते थे.
अच्छा
But so I will get to that. So this is practice we used to do, but was it as structured, as mentored as it is today? No, it wasn't there. आजकल टीम के साथ a physiotherapist goes. We used to be each other's physiotherapists. I mean, if that injury that I had, I played through injury. There was no one better to tell me that you have a very third grade thigh strain or whatever.
या
आजकल physiotherapist goes. आजकल
इट्स अ
batting coach जाता है.
या
And batting coach, like you look at someone like W.V. Raman is coaching a team. Like I have a former test player coaching Uttarakhand or whatever team. I'm just giving examples. A lot of former players have become coaches. So influence is so much more. And secondly, the way you practice. A lot. So Mahendra Singh Dhoni, okay. Now let's just take his example. He came through the ranks. He did really well, and he got pushed into the Indian team really early. So what that does is, whenever there's a trickle down effect, right? Whenever he comes and plays अपने local team के साथ, जब भी time मिलता था, he would instill certain structures in place, right? Certain ways of coaching, and that kept getting better and better. And if you go back like last 4-5 साल, बिहार cricket team, झारखंड cricket तो है नहीं, बिहार cricket team, they're doing very well. Ishan Kishan आ गया, left arm spinner in Nadeem, he's really good. Dhoni, Ishan Kishan is playing IPL for the last couple of years. He might just break into the Indian team very soon. So things have improved a lot on the field. The way coaching happens, the way a team is managed, the way a team is traveling, how much players are getting paid. They have help from physiotherapists who are helping them. So these things have improved cricket a lot.
But when you say that you were playing you were playing a lot, whom you were playing with actually? रणजी के छोड़ दे तो रणजी को छोड़ दे तो बाकी और क्या होता था उस टाइम बिहार में?
उस समय तो खाली क्लब क्रिकेट था ना, तो एक बार सीजन खत्म हो गया,
हाँ
then you go play your own club cricket. I used to live in Bombay, right? I
हाँ
used to doing my college, and I used to play college matches. I used to play B division in Bombay. So, or us samay someone like Tariq Bhai, I think Tariq Bhai was with Indian Oil or Air India. Somebody, he was with somebody. He was
I
with a
went
big company.
later to which I remember he went later to Dubai and he started coaching some ये बहुत
Right,
बात
right. वो तो बाद में.
हाँ
मैं बात कर रहा हूँ कि जब रणजी ट्रॉफी सीजन खत्म हो गया, what do players do?
हाँ हाँ
आज so let's do a comparison, right? आज रणजी ट्रॉफी सीजन खत्म हो गया. The same, there's so much cricket, there's so much incentive, and the incentive I'm talking about is money. They can go and play any league in any corner of the world, make an income, and come back and still play for their local club and Ranji Trophy team. There's cricket 365 days a year if you're willing to travel. Okay, Hamare, when we used to play late 90s, there were some players who were really good, like Tariq Bhai, KVP Rao, Raja, Rajiv Kumar. They went and played in England for the summer or something, and they would come back and play Ranji Trophy
county yeah.
for county lower level counties. For someone like us, you go back and play club cricket somewhere, wherever you're playing. तो उतना structure भी नहीं था ना उसमें उस समय. Now you compare the same to Bombay or Delhi. Delhi has summer cricket. 40 degree, 45 degree mein, guys like Virat Kohli and Ishan Sharma are still playing club cricket, and the level of cricket is very high. So Bihar mein wo nahi tha. You have to go out and play in Bombay or kahin par so that you can raise your level of cricket.
Yeah, but do you remember any coach in particular? Like we have some Tarak Sinha in Delhi or Paranjape apna Bombay
In
में.
Bombay mein, I mean Jamshedpur mein, we had a Randhir saying it's a very unfortunate story. His family was very close to my family.
Okay.
When my father was a national selector, he got to play for against West Indies in Eden Garden. I saw him bowl, and he was coach throughout our Ranji Trophy setup. But other than that, we did not. Every once in a while, Daljit Singh would come, give us some good tips and all. But I think that happened a couple of times, but nothing on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So if
Recently,
Vasu Paranj, if
Devashish
Vasu
started coaching for Dhoni has started his own coaching organization in
कोचिंग अकेडमी, हाँ, तो
Patna
वो
में
सब, हाँ,
Devashish Mohanty trains little bit.
Debashish Mohanty. So Dhoni has that power to call Debashish Mohanty, who's a former Test player, to come and coach in his
In his
academy in Patna.
own coaching club, yeah.
हाँ, तो अभी ये सब लास्ट 10 साल में जाके हुआ है. लेट 90s, अर्ली 2000 इतना अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं था, उतना कैश रिवॉर्ड्स बना दे, रिवॉर्ड्स इन द सेंस दैट द इंसेंटिव वाजंट देयर, बट नाउ देयर इज.
So what
बहुत
about
कुछ
the
चेंज हो गया.
selectors? They used to come only in the Ranji tournaments, or they used to come locally also to see the team?
Sometimes they would come and um, so Ranji Trophy ke liye, let's say they were shortlisted about a group of 40 players. And the way the team was selected, you come, you bowl in the nets and all. The coaches and selectors know your past history of what you've done in a while. Then they would say, okay, let's play couple of matches, and then the team was selected. Today, the team is constantly playing. There's a lot of records, kaun kahan par kaisa khela, and there is a camp which goes on for a couple of years. So, wo sab us samay nahi hota tha. Or yes, and this has changed across the country. The culture of cricket, the culture of playing a sport has become better. And that is why India is where it is. In the last 5, 7, 10 years, we are beating Australia and Australia.
But did you play any 5-day cricket also at that time as a practice?
Oh, Ranji Trophy was 5 days, right? Ranji Trophy was 5 days.
Hota tha,
My 14 matches were 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Ajkal, we did not have like batting consultants or bowling consultants. Every once in a while, someone would come and, and our senior players, they would give us advice, very good advice. But there's a difference in having a dedicated bowling or batting coach, and then there's a difference of just senior players giving you advice. There is more structure. But fundamentally, the structure of how a team operates and how a team plays, that has changed for the better. And it's very good. मैं ये नहीं बोलना चाहता हूँ कि अरे मेरे को ये opportunity मिलता तो मैं क्या कर देता. No, this is not that conversation. This is just me trying to relay how things were and how much better they are today. And I'm very happy for Bihar.
But the money was there, not to the players, but as such, money was there with the association, you think, or it was, we did have.
I don't think money was available to the association. I don't think so. So, I don't think money, to the extent that money, आजकल कितना, I do not know, board कितना पैसा देता है.
Now they are in millions.
It's in millions, right? करोड़ों में, right? And look at the stadium that got built in Ranchi. It's a world-class stadium. Stephen Smith is playing in Ranchi. So, and Ranchi has become a very cosmopolitan center.
Yeah.
So, capital है, Jharkhand capital है. तो लेकिन, उस समय पैसा भी नहीं था. टाटा स्टील का मेहरबानी है तो पैसा है, बोर्ड 40-50-1 लाख रुपया दे देगा तो बोर्ड का मेहरबानी है. Otherwise, आजकल, and that's why I keep going back and saying the Star Cricket deal, Star Cricket TV, and the BCCI का जो deal था, that changed everything. And then IPL came, which changed everything else again.
But did you aim at moving to some other team? Like अभी क्या होता है कि बिहार से they move to Jharkhand, और इवन एट दैट टाइम व्हेन बिहार का जब बंद हुआ तो झारखंड की तरफ बहुत लोग, झारखंड से ईशान किशन आल्सो मूव टू जमशेदपुर. तो ये उस टाइम भी ऐसा होता था कि यू थिंक ऑफ मूविंग टू बॉम्बे और समवेयर?
Very rare. और उस समय the process to move was very cumbersome. I do not know how it is, but the number of players moving today in domestic cricket, okay, is so. I remember Ramesh Pawar at one time was playing in Assam. I think so. I might be wrong. But do some research. Maybe Ramesh Pawar, an India Test player, right? He was playing for Assam after he knew that he didn't get a chance to play in Bombay. Look at Wasim Jaffer. Wasim Jaffer played for Saurashtra last year and they won the Ranji Trophy. So, उस समय उतना movement नहीं था. आजकल there is a lot of movement of players. And I don't know if the process is much easier today or the process is much harder today. I do not know. But उस समय players used to stay because there was that pride also, right? Associated कि अरे हमारा लड़का है अंडर 15 यहाँ खेला, अंडर 17 यहाँ खेला, अंडर 19 यहाँ खेला, तो हमारे साथ ही रहेगा. But today it's become more professional. Why would someone like Wasim Jaffer, जब पता है कि boss मेरा बॉम्बे करियर खत्म हो गया, I can't play in Bombay anymore, but Saurashtra will need my hand, and he will always be Bombay's one of the top cricketers of Bombay. But he went and won the Ranji Trophy at Saurashtra. So आजकल there's a lot of mobility. There's a lot of mobility. उस समय उतना नहीं था. We
मतलब
would hear some player,
और बिहार से खेलने के टाइम में did you feel any association with the Indian team, like the positivity as such in the Indian team when Tendulkar came was different than when it was before, जब हम लोग काफी at the time when Gavaskar was going down, and उस समय का ऐसा कुछ है कि तेंदुलकर के आने से कुछ अच्छा as such positivity आया हो?
I would say positivity came to Bombay cricket, but not much to Bihar cricket. Bihar was still, even then, the backwaters of cricket, right?
Yeah.
Backwaters of cricket. The glory days of the 70s and 80s were gone. And there was this entire phase where Bombay, Delhi, UP, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu to an extent, 5 or 6 states, and Ahmedabad, you know, they were everything in cricket. Even today, those are very strong teams. But nahin, Sachin Tendulkar playing cricket was a glorious moment for Bombay cricket, for Maharashtra cricket, but not for other parts of the. I mean, you look at Virat Kohli, right? Virat Kohli playing cricket for is glorious for Delhi. Dhoni playing for becoming World Cup captain, winning captain, is glorious for Jharkhand. But उसीलिए
Yeah, they developed something called as a talent development resource wing, TDR.
अभी
हाँ, तो I think in your time only it started when
I don't, I don't know. I mean, Bihar
Saurabh
में
Ganguly became captain, then everybody, not only Dhoni, the Jahir Khan आया or the
huh?
Mohammad Kaif
And
came.
today you
Yeah,
have Mohammad Kaif, Yuvraj Singh, and today you have National Cricket Academy.
yeah.
India's National Cricket Academy can be compared to Australia or England. It's brilliant. A lot of former players from Bihar who I know go and coach at National Cricket Academy. आप देखिए Venkat Ram, our off spinner, brilliant off spinner.
Yeah.
He's coaching in NCA. So
That
you
reminds
know,
me that MRF pace also came in 90s, और तो उसमें कभी आप लोगों का जाने का जैसे pace bowlers used to go, or I don't remember
I
Bihar player actually playing in MRF pace.
Sumit Panda went there. Sumit Panda was in MRF Pace Academy. I went for a camp over there, and I was in the Pace Bowlers Academy up in Chandigarh. I was there for 3 years. So the Pace Bowler Academy was backed by the government. MRF Academy was backed by privately.
MRF.
And so here's the difference. So I'll give you another difference of private and government sponsorship, right? I was in the Pace Academy up in Chandigarh, and वहाँ उस समय दो था, Chandigarh and Gwalior. हमारे वहाँ, I was coached by Desh Prem Azad, who was the mentor for Kapil Dev back in the day. In my 3 years over there, Kapil Dev came one time to just say hello and everything. MRF Pace Academy, Sumit Panda was directly coaching under Dennis Lely.
Yeah.
So here's the difference, right? I was not as good a player as Sumit Panda was. I was not. But what I'm saying is private or state sponsored. There's the difference. But actual state sponsored has also become very, very good. Again, whatever I'm saying, I'm comparing back to late to mid 90s. And now things have changed. There's a good, healthy partnership between private companies and BCCI, and the money trickles down to state boards, or state board can give better facilities, more pay to players, their travel arrangements are better, and these things matter. बहुत जन को, if you say these things किसी और को, आप किसी और को बोलेंगे ना, उसे अरे वो तो ऐसे बोल देता है कि आज हमारे जमाने में travel and all, when consequent, these things matter in how a person performs in the field.
Yeah, in fact, I remember many people actually opting sports to get job.
Exactly.
एक रणजी खेल लेगा तो कहीं job लग जाएगा. That's why.
रेलवे में नौकरी लग जाएगा. रेलवे में नौकरी.
That was one motive. Rather than coming to Indian team, they used to. In fact, many Ranji players were in 30s or late 30s.
Just play one Ranji Trophy match, and that's a ticket to railway or police or something like that.
In fact, the recently जो Abhimanyu, who was मतलब रणजी में जो record बनाया है, so he is 35 something. I don't think he can come into the team as a spinner. There is no chance. He has lost his age actually.
Age has passed, man.
So that was, I think, you will say कि उस time भी Ranji team का अगर composition, if you remember, they were mostly in 30s, or they were some 16, 18.
They're much older. Much older. They were early 30s. It's weird that you bring it up. So when I was playing under 15, under 17, under 19, there were people who were overage, and they used to play fake certificates and all.
हाँ.
Last 5-10 साल में Bihar, not Bihar cricket, BCCI has cracked down that you cannot produce underage certificates and play. So I was playing under 17 cricket, under 15, under 19 with 25-year-olds. I mean, so I will give you a good example. हम लोग ना जमशेदपुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट के लिए अंडर 15 क्रिकेट खेलने गए थे लोहरदगा. हाँ, I had never even heard of लोहरदगा. ठीक है, okay? We step onto the pitch, okay? We are like Facebook. There was this team from Patna या मुजफ्फरपुर कहीं से तो guaranteed we are playing under 15. None of those boys were less than 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah.
And we are playing. We lost heavily, but our coach there, yeah, he's passed away. He was a really good human being. And he says, "ठीक है, you know what? Let's go and have a good dinner." You guys played against bigger boys, but he tried to do well. So, and that came all the way down to Ranji Trophy, where players were not our batch. हम लोग जो 4-5 जन थे who came through under 15 cricket, मैं, Raja, CM Jha, a couple of other guys, Satya Prakash, we were there, but the core of the team was high 30s.
Yeah.
30s, mid to high 30s, or even maybe, you know, pushing a 40. Or Avinash Bhai played for a long time because he was just so brilliant. So, पर आज का team देख लो.
Even in Mumbai team, I think the people, in fact, who retired used to continue playing from Indian team. They used to continue playing in the Ranjis, and in fact, if you remember, Wasim Jafar played till 40s.
But Wasim was that brilliant. Wasim was that brilliant. Wasim was one of the all-time great domestic players of India. He was that brilliant. But and for Wasim, it was not so much as he needed he had a job, ONGC, I believe. Yeah, ONGC gave him a job because Wasim came from very humble background. His father was a bus driver, whatever. So Bombay cricket needed him at that time. And he did not necessarily need a job or anything. He was just so good, he kept on playing.
He was good, yeah.
But बिहार में ये हो गया था कि बस अगर हम 1 या 2 रणजी ट्रॉफी मैच खेल ले, मेरे को तो रेलवे में नौकरी मिल जाएगा और मेरा लाइफ लॉन्ग पेंशन इज देयर, guaranteed. Why? I don't. And now you look at it, why is Indian Railway the biggest employer in the whole wide world? Because it's carrying services, Indian Railway services. Why are these biggest employers in the whole wide world?
And how was the stadium condition? It was only Keenan, or do you used to go to Patna?
Mainly Keenan, and I played one time in Patna.
Moinul Haq Stadium tha.
Moinul Haq में एक बार खेले. I think it was against Gujarat or Saurashtra. Nain Mongia came to play. Nain Mongia कहाँ से खेलता था? Saurashtra, right? Saurashtra. Nain Mongia played.
That was the team of Gujarat.
Yeah. Keenan was really good because Tata Steel used to, you know, bankroll that. Moinul Haq was also okay. Moinul Haq wasn't too bad. It was okay.
Yeah,
State of pitches.
I remember one World Cup game Kenya Zimbabwe के बीच में हुआ था, तो हम लोग गया था देखने के लिए. And then it rained.
पटना में.
हाँ, और लालू यादव फिर हेलीकॉप्टर लेके पानी सुखाए थे. वो बारिश हो गया था, एक दिन गेम खत्म हो गया था, तो बोला एक दिन का टिकट में 2 दिन का मैच देखो. अगले दिन फिर से मैच कराया. So I remember only that was the last game. उसके बाद हुआ ही नहीं मैच केन्या जिम्बाब्वे के बाद. तो I think stadium wise now we have रांची है, जमशेदपुर है, पटना भी है, at least it exists. So there are, and Dhoni has built up his own stadium in Patna also. So काफी.
I mean, Dhoni can do whatever he wants, right? He's earned that respect and credibility.
And how, there were many, at least between Bihar and Bengal, there was little movement. You think there's Subrato Banerjee, I think he did little bit Bihar bhi, Bengal bhi aisa. So Bengal.
Yeah, Subrato coaches. Subrato he's coaching Bihar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Subrato and Raja both were coaches. So Bihar was doing really well. Subrato again from Jamshedpur, brilliant bowler, made a great debut in Australia. बाद में Subrato started playing for Bengal because he knew that if Saurav Ganguly was there, the Indian captain, if he could put in good performances, he could get in. But
in fact, Bengal also didn't have much. Even Riddhiman Shah is now. उससे पहले Deepdas Gupta,
yeah.
थोड़ा सा आ पाया नहीं, तो otherwise even Bengal didn't have any chance to get into the national team.
Yeah, Rohan Gavaskar, he could not break into the Bombay team, so he started playing for Bengal, and he put in really good numbers for Bengal, but still could not consistently. I think Rohan Gavaskar played a few ODIs, but he could not break into the the test team actually. Deepdas Gupta played. Saha is really good. Vidhiman Saha is really good. Probably the best glove man India has at the moment. But again, if you see the power center of cricket in India is two places: Bombay, Delhi, and Karnataka. 2 or 3 places. That is the power center of cricket.
I think
Because
अभी भी वही है, अभी भी
अभी भी वैसे ही है.
मुंबई, दिल्ली
अरे
एंड अभी ठीक है, बॉम्बे से दे आर लेस प्लेयर्स एक्सेप्ट रोहित
थोड़ा
शर्मा,
lesser. If
लेकिन
you see
हम्म
Uttar Pradesh, UP has produced brilliant players throughout. लेकिन यूपी में भी वैसे ही हाल है जैसे बिहार में. There are factions, right? कानपुर, लखनऊ, Allahabad, there are factions. Bihar, if you take Bihar pre-Jharkhand, तो बिहार का भी वैसे ही हाल है, right? जमशेदपुर, पटना, रांची. But Bombay, they produce a united front. Bombay जो है, Bombay एक है, Delhi एक है, Karnataka just one, Tamil Nadu just one big block of cricketing power.
I don't know if you can answer this question, लेकिन अगर if I just talk about a little bit about the politics, when they choose as a, जब board का बात होता है तो in board everybody has representation, even Bihar Cricket Association has, उनके पास भी कुछ votes हैं, कुछ votes बॉम्बे के पास भी है, कुछ सब सारे के पास, all association had some votes. तो why, but that vote isn't it a power कि वो अपना कुछ करवा सके, या उनके पास फिर मुंबई has more power, ऐसा कुछ है?
So you see, in the 90s and through the 2000s, there was one very big personality or two very big personalities, late 90s, okay, or in early 2000s in cricket in India. Jagmohan Dalmia, Raj Singh Nagarpur.
Yes.
Okay. And the whole idea was, ki boss, if I can align my vote with the person who wins the election, okay, I can see more profit for my state cricket. There will be more funds. I can see some of our players come up. I can also see that maybe I can get a few of our senior cricketers who have, who have stopped playing and being managers of, India under 15, India under 19 teams, stuff like that. Does it happen today? Aaj hota hai kya? How did Saurav Ganguly get all the votes unanimously? Probably, probably. But why couldn't Dilip Vengsarkar? I keep going back to Dilip Vengsarkar. Why couldn't Indian legend like Anil Kumble? Anil Kumble. Why couldn't Anil Kumble become? You're telling me, ki boss, who's that India Cements ka, the owner of Chennai Kings?
And
Srinivasan. अगर आज मेरे को कोई भी बोल दे कि Srinivasan knows more about cricket than Anil Kumble or Dilip Vengsarkar, I will hang myself, man. You know what I'm saying? तो बहुत पॉलिटिक्स है ना उसमें भी. अगर कर्नाटका स्टेट एसोसिएशन, अनिल कुंबले वांट्स टू oppose Srinivasan and Karnataka State Association says no, we will not make you head of Karnataka State if you do not give the vote to Srinivasan. What can Anil Kumble do?
Exactly.
So politics bahut, that's why even though for the better, IPL has changed the lives of cricketers. Okay, cricketers as such today are much better off. Okay, लेकिन the politics in cricket is still very, very prevalent.
अगर बहुत बेसिक पूछे किसी बिहार के लड़के को, मान लो he wants to get into the team, and considering 90s, अभी का तो मैं अभी there are different things, but in 90s if somebody actually wanted to come into the Ranji team or lately in India, what was it like? From school you start playing?
So you start playing school, okay? At some point you'll get into under 15 district or something. Then if you keep performing well, you'll play under 19, under 16, under 17, jo bhi, I don't know how structure kaisa. You play under 19, and at that stage of under 19, if you do not break into the Ranji Trophy team in the late 90s, then you're in the wilderness. But like in aaj, if you are under 19 team and you can't get into the Ranji Trophy team, there are other avenues, right? You can get into IPL का कोई एक टीम उठा लेगा, या दिल्ली में जाके कहीं क्लब क्रिकेट खेलिए, so you get noticed, or Bombay or even England, and players travel so much, there's so much mobility. आजकल state में T20 cricket association ने T20 cricket चालू कर दिया है. I mean that helps a lot, and it's really good for these young players. It's really
that
good.
reminds me that Tarikur Rahman started the cricket coaching in Darbhanga. वहाँ पे
अरे तारिक भाई, he's in Darbhanga now.
हाँ, तो
तुम्हारा बात कौन से?
नहीं, अभी मुझे पता लगा कि दरभंगा में वो शुरू किया, दरभंगा क्रिकेट क्लब. ही वाज
अरे
बेसिकली दरभंगा, तभी तो मैं उनको खेलते हुए देखा था वहां पे शुरू में.
तारिक भाई से अगर अगर बात होगा ना, मेरा हेलो बोलना.
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
तारिक
तो
भाई से जरूर मेरा हेलो बोलना, और अविनाश भाई, और यू नो, I can get you in touch with KVP Rao if you want. You can talk to KVP Rao.
या दैट विल बी ग्रेट. और
Yeah, ठीक है. वरा भाई का I can, yeah, KVP Rao, talk to him. He will. He was Bihar captain. He played club cricket with me in Jamshedpur. A very strong personality. He was my roommate. He was like a mentor to me even today. He was at my wedding 2 years ago. I can definitely get you in touch with him.
अच्छा, coming to your father now, Ramesh Saxena, did he used to talk about cricket or not much?
He used to talk about cricket, but there are with him there are two levels of cricket, right? One are playing days gone by, and then when I was old enough to understand cricket and play cricket, which I did from a very young age because it's in my blood. I mean, I've
Yeah.
always seen cricket in my life. Um, he was already in administration, so he would avoid the administration talk at home because it's all political, right? You do not want your young children to listen to that. But he would talk about cricket. Like I used to watch endless test matches with my father. If Richie Beno is commentating in Australia on Boxing Day, we are up at 4 in the morning watching Doordarshan or Star Cricket or something, trying to follow Boxing Day test match. Or his experience playing for India, or players he played with, Sunil Gavaskar, Dilip Vengsarkar, Ajit Wadekar, Bishan Bedi, or when the West Indies team came by, or even for the matter, Amber Roy. Amber Roy from Bengal captain. I mean, great player. Dilip Doshi, very good friend of his, Dilip Doshi. Bishan Bedi, very good friend of his. He used to talk about cricket of players he had played with, but not much on the administrative side.
Not much. Actually, I in fact read an interview of your brother with, and he said that your father hardly talked about cricket, and he particularly asked when Tendulkar was selected, he was in the board, selection board. Did he pick up Tendulkar? So he just categorically said he never talked about it. So
Yeah,
that was, yeah, because that
yeah,
is,
it's a very political discussion.
yeah,
Yeah,
somebody
it's
says
a
I,
very political.
yeah.
He was when he was on the board. Jimmy Amarnath, remember, he called it was Dungarpur's board, and Jimmy Amarnath called Chetan Chauhan, my father.
Bunch of jokers जो बोला था वो.
A bunch of jokers. So
Yeah.
you say that to selectors today, you'll never play for the country again.
Yeah.
But so jo bhi hai. So yeah, to getting to that, he would speak about cricket a lot, watch cricket a lot with us, but never talk about the administrative or the political side of it.
Talk about the administration. Yeah. So that's actually a good thing. So basically, you were not much under the influence of your father or under the pressure that you have to perform in that way that
Oh,
he.
I was always under the pressure because when he was in administration in Bihar and part of it in the BCCI also, I was playing my junior cricket. No matter what I did, I'm always compared to my father. And when you start doing that to a young person, that person is deflated, right? That's why आजकल तो ठीक है, maybe people did not realize back in the day, ठीक है, but लेकिन आज nowadays people realize that reference, that point of reference is always there. Whether you hit a good cover drive, oh अपने बाप के जैसा खेलता है, or you get out to a bad ball, oh your father would have played that better. That point of reference is always there. You can't
Even
escape
your
it.
father, I think just read he was compared to Rohan Kanai because he looked like him and he played
I
like
have
him.
I have a picture
Yeah.
of my father and Rohan Kanai side by side, and Akash Lal, very good commentator and an old friend of my father. They're all in the West Indies team as visiting, and I think they're playing East Zone, and the resemblance is striking.
Yeah, they look similar. In fact, Rohan Kanai
Yeah,
and Saxena, they have like similar kind of
uh,
skulls and this thing.
he's got a picture of facing Wes Hall, and it's fearsome. The West Indies team
Yeah,
of the 70s and 80s, fearsome.
that was something. So you think that Bihar could have done better, but 90s mein aake it just kept down.
Bihar,
It
I
was
mean,
uh,
the caliber of players who were in the team, and I by far was one of the ones with lower caliber that I somehow made it to the team, is maybe we had a dearth of talent, whatnot. ठीक है, जो भी है. There were very, very, very good players in Bihar. I mean, Tariq Bhai, Avinash Kumar, KVP Rao, Rajiv Kumar, Safa fast bowler, Dheeraj Kumar, brilliant players, brilliant players. There was just so much animosity in between इतना मतलब माहौल खराब था और बाहर से इतना आवाज था that कभी भी कोई ड्रेसिंग रूम के लिए that cannot be good. That cannot be good. You look at even sports today. ठीक है, if a dressing room का माहौल खराब है ना, पिच में कभी अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस नहीं हो पाएगा.
If you
It
just
can't
want
happen.
to conclude, what do you think people can do better कि बिहार का या even I think Nagaland has a team and ऐसा ऐसा जगह का है, जम्मू कश्मीर का टीम है
Jammu
and
Kashmir is a very good team.
Uttarakhand has a team. Yeah.
Uttarakhand is a very good team. I think Bihar is already doing well, right? They're taking the right steps. I think the first thing that needs to happen is जो कोर्ट केस चालू है, for good or for bad, 10 साल हो गया. My father has gone 10 years, okay? That court case has been dragging since then. That has to come to a conclusion because unless that court case is not resolved, that power struggle will still keep going on. कौन ठीक है, कौन गलत है, प्लेयर को क्या फर्क पड़ता है? The player has to play. He has to perform. अब power किसके हाथ में है? You resolve that outside of the dressing room. Or I think that happens today. पर पहले नहीं होता था. But if that can get resolved, I don't know what happened to that court case. Last time you 2 साल पहले वो Supreme Court में था. Something happened, whatever. So that needs to get resolved and things will improve even more.
And
Structurally, everything is in place. The foundations are really good. You have a former World Cup winning captain who's opened an academy. So, there is enough incentive, money and whatnot. Players are coming. The Bashish Mohanty is teaching players young players how to bowl fast. And that's a very good thing.
yeah, and in fact, Bihar typically I think it can produce sportsmen because it has nothing else to do. Also, I will say कि
Agriculture तो है नहीं अपने देश में. Yeah.
I think students who are like they don't have much to do, they can at least do good in sports because they have if they have grounds or facilities to करके.
और वो मेंटालिटी नहीं रहना चाहिए ना कि इफ आई हम 4 मैच खेल लिए मेरे को ना रेलवे में नौकरी मिल जाएगा. Once that and I'm not saying कि people who did that are wrong because उनके लिए it's an income. India's economy has become so robust today. ठीक है, so people don't think like that, which is very good, and we moved away from that pace because वो तो economy का भी बात हो गया ना कि उतना उस समय क्या economy था? Tata Steel था. There was some state steel plants. There were the state-owned oil companies, ONGC, Indian Oil, and there were the state-owned banks. But आज it's a much more robust economy, right? So players are getting different avenues to find jobs.
Yeah.
And private companies to a large extent will support these players. And that's really good. No, we are in a good place. Just get the administration side of it resolved. Kiske haath mein kya power hai, at some point get through it. And Bihar has done really well. Jharkhand has done, I don't know, Bihar, Jharkhand, let's follow some Ranji Trophy now. Players are coming up. Ishan Kishan, Nadeem. These players are coming up.
Yeah.
It's good.
एक छोटा सा I have a chapter on the casteism in cricket पे, so I don't know if it directly belongs to, but we have a lot of tribal players in hockey में है और फिर in other झारखंड से बहुत ज़्यादा tribal players hockey में है. They are not in cricket. Cricket is totally, in fact, there are articles that it is a Brahmin dominated or the upper caste dominated. You don't find even scheduled castes. Only scheduled castes which played is Dodda Ganesh and Vinod Kambli probably, but
Sunil Joshi. I think Sunil Joshi was. I mean, it's a sad thing that we say scheduled caste, right? That it's just a very sad inheritance from British government that we have. The whole casteism. जो भी है.
So,
पर
आपको लगता है कि मतलब even it reflected on Bihar because Bihar had a lot of socialist politics. Lalu Yadav.
Absolutely, it reflected.
आपको लगता है कि cricket at least skipped it and cricket had mostly upper caste.
I will not take names.
Okay.
But that what you just said, very present in the Bihar dressing room when I played. Very present.
Yeah.
चाहे आप भूमियार हो, चाहे लाला हो, चाहे राजपूत हो, and coming from Jamshedpur, we were Jamshedpur is like a
multicultural kind of
multicultural because of the steel plant, right?
When the South Indians are there and many people.
But if you go north of Jamshedpur, once you get out of the mine area, right, that multiculturalism is gone. Yeah. It's gone. So till the time, I'll give you an example. Till the time I did not get into the Bihar dressing room, I did not know what my caste was. मेरे को पता नहीं था. मैं एक दिन घर आया and I told my mother and father कि मैं लाला हूँ. They're like, who told you this? कौन बताया तुमको कि तुम लाला हो या कायस्थ हो या I mean, you know, my father was from Delhi, my mother was Bengali, I was multilingual. So मेरे को बहुत जन used to think that I'm Bengali, which I'm half Bengali, whatever. But that caste aspect, religion and caste are two different things, right?
Yeah.
Then I came to know what I was when I stepped into the Bihar cricket room, dressing room.
Yeah, actually, it reflects even in the Indian team. If you say that, you won't find Dalit player, which जब
Yeah,
बाकी वो नहीं दिखता है, and it is mostly dominant. Anyway,
it is.
just conclude this talk now.
Okay.
Yeah, you have something to say in the end.
I'm just saying it's a sad legacy. That whole the fact that we call them scheduled caste, lower
Yeah.
tribe, or achut. I mean, it's just a very sad legacy of the British Raj. That's where it started.
Thank you, Vineet. बहुत अच्छी लगा आपसे बात करके.
Always good.